Backseat Sandbar here for the third installment of a six-pack with. We've got Myron Koch, curator of Peak Summit Groove and Dance Festival here in Louisville, Kentucky. We're going to talk a bit about that. We're going to talk a little bit about his beverage of choice for this evening for the six-pack. It's an unconventional six-pack, but we've had a 40-ounce before, so we're going to let it slide. And we'll talk a little bit about his involvement in Forecastle and this project Paradigm as well. First off, Myron, thanks for sitting down with us. Tell me about this beverage here.
Well, it's a 1,000-year-old monk recipe. It's the Lindeman's lambic. It's like my favorite substance on the planet, I think.
Where'd you get involved in, or where'd you first taste it?
I first tasted it at a beer tasting in St. Louis. We were playing a gig. Some friends of mine and I were playing a gig at this place called Cicero's, and we went in there to just set our stuff up. And a beer tasting that was like all the distributors for everything that was in St. Louis had just finished, and there were like 400 half-empty bottles with all these little cups just laying around. And this was the one that struck me, and I walked off with half a bottle of it.
Well, that's good though. I'll give it another shot after this. Now let's get down to music. Peak Summit, June 20th. This is not the first Peak Summit? How many have there been?
I've lost count, but we started doing them in 2001.
It's getting bigger and bigger every year.
Yeah.
It seems like I was looking at this list. We've got Atlanta Fugate, Arnett Hollow, Cast Iron, Airplane, Craig Wagner, the DeLoreans. I mean, the list goes on. It's a really good lineup. What exactly are you the sole guy on this, or what? How's it working?
Well, yeah, pretty much. I mean, I've got a group of folks that help me in different ways, but for the most part, I'm the proprietor, I'm the producer, I do most of the processes at this point. So yeah.
Now, so you picked all the bands, the venues. There's how many venues? There's a ton of them.
15.
15 different. And this year it's on Shelbyville Road.
Mm-hmm. Shelbyville Road and Frankfurt Avenue, that 3-mile stretch of it.
And that's new this year, or is it? Has it been there before?
It's always been in the Shelbyville Road area, but usually it just kind of sticks to that heart of St. Matthews, where it'll be like BBC and 60 West, Dutchess, Gerstels, Diamonds, Saints, that whole area. But this time we extended it all the way down to Clifton's and Veronese, included Longshot, Dark Star, Patrick's, and the Frankfurt Avenue Beer Depot.
And so for someone that hasn't done it before, how do you recommend, if I show up at 8 o'clock and I want to experience the Peak Summit Festival, is it basically like a trolley hop through each bar? Is it a rolling party, or is there a party going on in each one and you just kind of experience them as you go?
Well, there's a party going on in each one, but this particular one is so long, it's 3 miles. Like in the past, everything's been so close that we just kind of made it a walking, block party kind of thing. But now it's so spread out that we went ahead and got the bus from the Monkey Wrench. They've got this tailgating bus that says University of Louisville on the side. Sorry, IU and UK fans. We rented it, and we're just going to kind of roll it back and forth and back and forth.
So hop on the bus, go bar to bar. It'd be a different acts in each place.
Yeah, a couple or a few in most places.
And it's not just music. What else is going to be there?
Well, there's lots and lots of music, but we've also got a couple of comedy troupes, and they'll all be at Patrick's. Comedy troupes and all the solos. There'll be a roving fashion show that hits a couple of venues. We've scraped together all the local microbreweries, and behind BBC there'll be a microbrew festival. So if you want to try out a number of all their beers, there's that. There'll also be a stage back there. We've got a couple of art shows, a couple of different art shows that are curated by two totally different people. So it represents two different scenes pretty much. But there's a total of, I think, 30 artists that are involved, so it's quite a spectacle. We'll be doing a putt-putt tournament at the Beer Depot.
Nice.
Yeah.
I've played on those before. It's not exactly the best kept greens, but the price is right and you can drink.
Yeah, I think the alcohol is probably the main focus, but we'll give away a prize to whoever it is that manages to win. And if you're going to make it all the way down there, you've probably got a couple of beers under your belt anyway. So.
Is the prize already determined?
Yeah, but I can't remember off the top of my head what it is. It has something to do with the Beer Depot.
We'll say it's a secret.
Yeah, we'll say it's a secret.
What's the I guess what's the theme of the Peak Summit Festival? Is there a goal, or
Well, it kind of has shifted a little bit from year to year. At first, it started off just a music festival with art on the periphery. And then I discovered at some point that there was a really powerful art scene, so we started bringing in a lot of artists from all the different areas of art, from glass blowing, sculpture, different styles of 2D, painting and sketch and whatever. And then this year, over the past couple of years, I've gotten to know a lot of small business owners, and I kind of figured out that small business is an art form unto itself. So this year we're bringing small business into it and kind of celebrating it as an art form and putting it kind of on the same level as the artists. So the way that we're doing that, two different ways. One is by the fashion show. So we got together, I think, 10 local clothiers and boutiques, and then I think 3 or 4 salons that will be doing like hair and makeup for the girls. And they'll do, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's going to be a total of like 50 or 60 outfits. So it'll be like a fireworks show, pretty much, between some of the bands. So that'll celebrate that end of small business. And then I've approached a number of businesses up and down the Shelby Road Frankfurt Avenue corridor to partner with us and just offer incentives if you keep your ticket stub. If you look at the back of the ticket stub, if you look at the back of your tickets on the stub, there's like a card, and it says keep this card and just kind of present it.
We'll get an image of it.
And just present it for 2 weeks after the festival. It will be good for incentives at a number of different businesses. So hopefully that'll work out really well because the businesses are really excited about it.
And just from the flyer, I saw that there's a charitable aspect as well.
There's a couple of different charitable aspects. One, we've partnered up with Habitat for Humanity's Restore, which that's the deal with them is they're the, for lack of a better way of putting it, they're the retail wing of Habitat for Humanity because they're all the time getting stuff donated to them that they can't use on new houses. So they ended up renting a big old warehouse and started putting these used building materials into this warehouse and selling them at like a ridiculously cut rate. So they're going to have their logo truck sitting in front of BBC taking used building supplies as donations. So that's one end. The other end is we're doing a farmers market and green consortium to start off with. It's a free to the public, non-ticketed event. It'll only run from 6 to 9. But during that, we've got Chef Tim Tucker, which he's the chef from the Salvation Army, doing a performance there. So the situation with him is he graduated from Sullivan with some accolades, went out to the West Coast and worked at some of the finest restaurants on the West Coast, got homesick, came back here, landed a job at the Salvation Army where he piloted a program to teach homeless people how to cook, and then he places them in jobs. So
that's fantastic.
Oh yeah, I think he said out of 49 graduates, he's been able to place 44 of them in gainful employment.
Wow.
So he has formed a band. So what he's going to do is come out and bring his cooking block with a bunch of appliances like his Cuisinart and his blender and a chopping block, and he'll put a bunch of microphones on that, run that through some effects, and have a bass player and a drummer behind him throwing down some grooves while he's running his stuff through effects, and then at the end of it he feeds everybody.
Oh, that's a great show to go to. I wish every band I wanted to go see fed me afterwards.
Yeah.
All right, well, tell us how we can get tickets to this festival.
There's a couple of ways. The easiest way, I guess, would be to log on to peaksummit.com and just buy them off the website. Otherwise, if you wanted to walk up to the door of any of the venues, you can get a wristband at any of the venues.
Where are tickets going to be this year? How much?
$10.
$10. $10, 15 venues, tons and tons of music. It's good for a good cause. You might get fed. You're going to eat and drink well. It's been Backseat Sandbar here with Myron Koch. Appreciate it. And head to the Peak Summit Festival. It's a great thing for Louisville, and I know you'll have a great time.